So how many of us can honestly say we can predict the future? And how many of us can honestly say that we are prepared for 2016? And I mean really prepared for 2016. Because 2016 is set to be one of the most challenging years for business to date in South Africa. And add to the mix the complexity of uncertainty, and we know that we're living in really difficult times. And difficult times evoke interesting emotions in people, like fear and uncertainty, even panic. And we also know that emotions drive our behavior. So how are we going to safeguard ourselves and the people that we work with against these potentially paralyzing emotions? What is so interesting about an unpredictable and uncertain future is that we cannot really prepare for it. But the opposite is also true. And what we do know about the future, and what we can predict about the future, is that the future is full of change. And change evokes really interesting reactions in people. Firstly, people react to change with a sense of crisis. There's a sense that I've got to be reactive. I've got to always be busy. I'm manically trying to stabilize. And this is an incredibly stressful way to be. How many of us witness the stress that people experience all the time in the world of work today? This is not sustainable. The other ways in which people react to change is by being complacent. This is just overwhelming for me. I'm just going to do the bare minimum that I can, and maybe not even that. And the Gallup survey of 2014 actually revealed for us that less than 10% of South Africa's workforce consider themselves to be truly engaged employees. This is also not a particularly sustainable way of being. So what we really need to cultivate is competency. And I'm not only talking about the technical competencies that we need in order to do our jobs, I'm really talking about a self-competency. What is it that I need to know about myself or investigate so that I can live optimally within myself? How do I interrogate who I am, what I know, what I believe, so that I can be self-motivated, innovative, resilient, adaptable, flexible, nimble, all the other attributes that we really need from our employees in a challenging workplace today? And the thing is, it's not necessarily enough to be busy. We've got to start asking ourselves, what are we being busy about? Which is exactly why I've created 2 new keynote presentations. The one looks at what are the big 5 challenges that businesses are currently facing and going to continue to face in the coming years. And the other is looking at how do we really maximize our employees' potential? What does that really mean, and what do we need to become truly aware of? But this is hard. Because people are a paradox. Because people are irrationally predictable. So if I were to take just one of the big 5 challenges that I see businesses currently facing in the future, which is how do we truly distinguish ourselves for our consumers from our competitors? What is it about us that is truly distinct? And I'm not necessarily talking about a differentiator, and I'm certainly not talking about difference for difference sake. I'm also not necessarily referring to how do we go from good to great. I'm talking about a distinction. What is it about us that our consumers are truly going to identify with, that they are immediately going to recognize within us, and most importantly, emotionally connect to, so that they want to stay engaged with our business or to evoke loyalty? So who am I? What do I really stand for? What does my brand really speak of? What it is that is distinct about me? These are the kinds of questions that we need to ask. And so what I'm suggesting is that we start to cultivate workplaces where there is curiosity, where there is enough self-awareness that I am able to interrogate who I am and what I stand for. Curiosity is the ability to question. And I think this is how we prepare ourselves for an unpredictable and uncertain future. I think this is how we ask, what are we really being busy about? My name is Saffron Baggallay, and I look forward to working with you going into the future on how we can look at the impact of change on our people to enable your organization to optimize your abilities in the extraordinary challenging times that are 2016. Thank you very much.